Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Saturn Slam review. Back after a long hiatus, we always seem to fall off a bit after WrestleMania and then come back around Money in the Bank, which was the first pay-per-view we ever reviewed. But this is not predictions for Money in the Bank. That will be later. This is predictions for the second ever NXT Takeover Chicago, which I think is still the only takeover we haven't reviewed. The original Takeover Chicago was the only one that wasn't reviewed on the show.
Oh man, maybe double review or something. But it's the second takeover for the second city.
Yeah.
And we got a lineup here for you tonight. It's slim as always, but really good.
5 matches. It should be really good. There are 2 matches that are kind of like, I don't know how it's going to work out. But I've said that repeatedly about these takeover shows, and I've yet to be disappointed by one. So, fuck it.
Right.
Kicking off here, we got one Shayna Baszler versus one Nikki Cross in a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. They've done an okay job of making people think Nikki Cross could win this match, and for all I know, maybe she could. But I think she's really only in NXT, so Shayna Baszler has an opponent for this takeover. And after this, she might get called up to rejoin the rest of Sanity on SmackDown. That's kind of what I'm feeling. I don't think she's long and short of it is I don't think she's winning this match.
That's fair, and it'll give Dakota Kai some time to deal with her feud with Bianca Belair, and then she'll come back stronger and forged or some shit. And
Yeah, I have a feeling that this whole storyline ends with Dakota Kai winning the Women's Championship and then feuding with Bianca Belair and losing it.
Jenny wrestling.
Yeah, so this match, I can't say that it'll be good. I mean, Shayna Baszler's okay. She's getting a lot better each time I see her. But she doesn't really have the best long matches. But we'll see. Maybe it won't be that long. But they did it. The next, the Madmen did it. They gave me what I wanted. We got Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream in one of the best built feuds ever.
Oh my god.
I love the fucking sit-down interview they did with both of them. Ricochet throwing shade about Tough Enough, and Velveteen Dream being like, the Dream has no memory of that.
The Dream, like, fucking snuck up on I feel like we kept an eye on him and we knew, but he somehow still snuck up on me. It was like, hey, I'm fucking amazing.
Yeah, ever since that match with Alistair Black, he's been... I think we've been higher on the Dream than a lot of other people. I don't know if that's fair, but like some of the bigger outlets I've seen them be like, oh, he's not that good yet because he had a bad match with Cassius Ohno, which I don't know how much of that blame you can put on him. Not saying that Cassius Ohno is a bad wrestler. He's not, but that was a styles clash for sure. This will be great. Ricochet doesn't have bad matches. Velveteen Dream's good. This will be a great story. As far as who wins, I gotta think that Ricochet wins his first singles match on a takeover, but I don't know that he'd be hurt by a loss, and Alistair Black needs challenger. I mean, I guess you could just put Ricochet against Alistair Black. That's by no means a bad match. But Velveteen Dream and Alistair Black have that history. I don't know.
It could definitely go either way.
Yeah, I could see it going either way. I'm going to go with history as my guide and say that Ricochet probably wins this, but I would not be surprised if Velveteen Dream pulled out the win here.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm on the same page there. Ricochet, I feel like I want to see the Alistair Black Ricochet match more than
I want to see that match as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Man, this thing's going to have it all. Action, comedy, sexual tension. Just fuck already, guys.
Just gonna come out with. He's gonna do what he did with Alistair Black and have like, or do the Rick Rude thing and have his face like airbrushed on his tights right over the crotch or something like that.
Oh, I want to see what new outfit Alistair Black. How they could never make an action figure, not for Alistair Black, for Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, they'd have to make several dozen.
All the wardrobes.
For
That'd
all
be
the
the
wardrobe
accessory
changes.
set.
Yeah. With removable pants, yeah, that'll go over well with Mattel's family-friendly edict. In another match that I'm having trouble calling, we have Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in a Chicago street fight. I wanted Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
This is the time for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is the feud that this is the type of feud that Hell in a Cell was made to settle. But I guess they didn't want to ship the cell out to Chicago. So we have a Chicago street fight. This feels like this is going to be the blow off. This is the second match. Gargano won the unsanctioned match. And at last year at Takeover Chicago is when Ciampa turned on him. So this feels prime for the blow-off. But at the same time, I feel like if Tommaso Ciampa loses this match, he's got no momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then Johnny Gargano's gonna... I'm sure eventually the Johnny Gargano story ends with him winning the NXT Championship. I don't know when that happens. Probably... Yeah, probably in Brooklyn, not like Takeover Brooklyn, but like Takeover Brooklyn for WrestleMania weekend.
Sure.
Well, that's where it's gonna be. They'll probably call it Takeover New York, but it's gonna be at the Barclays Center again, which is in Brooklyn. We might. There's talks. Well, we're definitely going to be at the one over WrestleMania weekend, but there's talks about maybe us seeing it live, the one over SummerSlam weekend as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep you posted there. They could do it at Brooklyn. I don't know. I mean, I think this match goes one of three ways. Either Johnny Gargano wins clean. I mean, it's a street fight, so what's a dirty win in a street fight?
Yeah, he gets the good ending.
Yeah, he blows off the feud, and that's that. Tommaso Ciampa wins, and they have the rubber match in Hell in a Cell, or 3 Stages of Hell, or something cool at Brooklyn, which I don't know if that's the most likely scenario, but I think that might be the most likely scenario. Or the third option is that someone screws Johnny to set up the next feud. He and EC3 kind of had words on NXT a few weeks ago. That could be the next feud. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with my gut and say they need another big match for Takeover Brooklyn. So it's probably going to be the rubber match here. So I think Tommaso Ciampa, I almost feel he has to win this match.
Yeah. I think that's a good assessment there. Because otherwise he starts, I don't know. The geek is creeping up.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call him a geek for losing to Johnny Gargano twice in a row, but he hasn't won since he came back. And he doesn't have, like... Well, actually, that's a lie. He didn't beat Cassius Ohno. He got disqualified.
Yeah. So
he hasn't won since he came back. He kind of needs something to give him some legitimacy. Especially if he's going to go on to feud with anyone else. Like, I don't know, Alistair Black, maybe?
Yeah. So here's how I think it might go down. If Tommaso Ciampa has to win, right? I think they're going to play into the angle of, like, you know... Johnny Gargano's. He's turning, or he's riding he's riding the line, right? So he has to do something like a very heel move, right? And then Tommaso will take advantage of it and get the win there. And then as a prelude, he's like gotta get out of his funk. Johnny's gotta get out of the funk and come back.
Yeah.
It's like babyface level.
Yeah, he's gotta. If they're doing the third match in Brooklyn, which I don't know that they are, I want to stress that again. But looking at what they could do, I don't think there's any bigger match that they could do, unless Johnny goes for the title in Brooklyn, which possible.
Yeah.
But I would do Ricochet and Alistair Black at Brooklyn and save Johnny and Black for the second Brooklyn this year, whatever they're gonna call it, the WrestleMania Takeover.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna be bold and brash and pick Tommaso Ciampa, best heel in the business, to win here.
Yeah.
I love that his entrance music is just booze.
Yeah. They fucking Roman, you need to learn from this.
He and Roman have the same theme.
Boo. Boo.
Boo. Boo-hoo. Boo this man.
Oh, is Roman even gonna be at Money in the Bank?
Yeah, he's wrestling Jinder Mahal.
Oh, that's right. They're doing that thing again. What the fuck?
That match is gonna go over like a fart in church, I'll tell you what.
I feel like, it's just like some weird, like, insane denial that's going on there. Just that Roman's
With
still,
Roman?
like...
Yeah. And it seems like he's gonna be... It seems like it's gonna be Roman and Brock at SummerSlam again. Which, at this point, and I'm not trying to be mean or pile on Roman, but who the fuck could care at this point? I've seen him lose to Brock Lesnar clean, well, twice now. Yeah. There was a disputed finish at WrestleMania 31, but I've seen Brock Lesnar kick his ass 3 times already.
What more do you need?
Yeah, so, like...
They're just retreating, and these are all things I've seen before, and he's just going around in, like, a holding pattern.
Yeah. We'll talk about it more at the Money in the Bank predictions, or the SummerSlam predictions, whichever comes in. At this point, either go with Roman or don't. You're never going to have this perfect scenario where he's not going to be booed. It's just not happening at this point. So either you don't care what the fans think, which it seems, and you just put the belt on him and push him, and he's going to get the reaction he's going to get, or you go with someone else. Don't do this fucking cat and mouse shit for another fucking year, because I will not stand for it. Rant concluded.
Well said. Speaking of champions and belts...
Yeah, well, this will probably main event, so we'll talk about the tag team belts. We have the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This match should be great. If they give this enough time, which there's only 5 matches on the card, and I don't know how long Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross are going to get, it should be plenty long. This is a sleeper match to steal the show. It's going to be tough to steal the show away from Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and Ricochet and Velveteen Dream on the same card, but don't sleep on this match. This match could be very, very good. The 6-man tag they had on NXT a few weeks ago was tremendous, and I see no reason why this shouldn't be of similar quality.
This will be, like, focused, condensed, and, like, all the tag team goodness. We'll take out the Dunn, take out the baby.
Baby.
Adam Cole.
Baby.
They got their own thing, but this one was like, hey, look, these guys did. Turns out the tag team guys are really good at a tag team match.
Yeah. This is a nice place. This is a place the tag team division in NXT hasn't been for a while, because for a long time, not since like DIY and the Revival were feuding over the tag titles in 2016, because for the majority of 2017, you had the Authors of Pain in the tag team title picture, and they're a good team. I don't want to sound like I didn't enjoy the Authors of Pain, but like they were much bigger than everyone else in the tag division, and they were kind of like the Road Warriors, where they didn't sell too much, and they had to be on offense for like 80% of the match, because nothing was much worse than Akam or Razor babyface in peril.
Oh no! Whatever will I do?
Poof! Eat 'em. Speaking of the Authors of Pain, they have just been MIA on Raw.
Damn. Come on.
Yeah, so the Authors of Pain are in the Raw tag team division, yet Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas are getting the tag team title shot next.
Oh, come on. This is why we don't even. This is why part of me doesn't want people to get called up.
I'm totally with you. I used to be like, oh yeah, you can call them up here and do this, but like after they've bungled almost everyone, with the exception of Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe is too damn awesome to be held. You can't make Samoa Joe a geek. It's impossible.
100% cool all the time.
With the lone exception of him, they've pretty much fucked up everyone that's been called up to the main roster. Look no further than where Sami Zayn's at in his career right now.
Oh, I remember when every match he had was some beautiful stuff.
Yeah, when he had the best match in every fucking show. Yeah, I remember too.
And now he's...
In fact, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Still there. In fact, but now he's wrestling Bobby Lashley for nothing. In the worst built match of 2018 so far. Oh, the prediction video for Money in the Bank is...
It's going to be full with Venom. We didn't do a proper Backlash review, so I still have all that Venom built up inside of me, and I'm gonna spit some tonight. Alistair Black versus Lars Sullivan for the championship. I mean, Alistair Black's winning. I have no doubt that that's true. Lars Sullivan has stood tall in literally every encounter they've had, so by the wrestling logic, he's going to lose. Also, they're building it up of like, can Alistair Black hit Black Mass on Lars Sullivan?
Yes.
Remember that fatal four-way a while back with Sullivan, Dane, Gargano, and Black, where Alistair Black laid out both Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan with his move?
Yup.
I remember. So yes, he can and he will hit this move on that man and move on to the next challenger.
How many tables will he go through to do it, though?
I don't know. This will be an interesting test to see how far along Lars Sullivan is. Can he work a 20-minute takeover main event match convincingly? I have faith that he can. He's developed pretty well. Mm-hmm. He's not like Braun Strowman was when he first got called up and ridiculously green and not ready for anything. He's not clumsy like Big Cass. Again,
it's fucking Money in the Bank.
I've got some things to say about one large Cassman. But yeah, this match should be acceptable. Alistair Black can really I don't think he's capable of having a bad match. I've yet to see one.
Yeah, he's a little bit like he's doing the AJ Styles thing for NXT, where you can just you put him in a match, it'll just make it great.
That's a very good comparison, and that's a match I really want to see. I didn't even think about that until just now. So yeah, that's the card, looking pretty svelte. If I had to give a pick for match of the night, it's hard to bet against Johnny Gargano, Mr. 5-star, 2 5-star takeover matches in a row. Looking for a third, might get there, we'll see. But I feel in my heart that Ricochet and Velveteen Dream are going to steal the show. So that's my match to watch for tomorrow.
Agreed. Conversely, I think just it's more of a statistical thing than anything. But like Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross, I think it's going to be the weakest.
Yeah, I mean it's NXT Women's Division right now is in, I don't want to say it's in dire straits because they've got a lot of girls and a lot of them are okay, but it's not at the level it was when you had the 4 horsewomen down there and then you had Asuka down there. It's definitely a weaker division than it was, and Shayna Baszler is great in her role, but she's not going to go out there and have a 5-star classic. Especially not with Nikki. Not to say that Nikki Cross is a bad wrestler. She's had great matches with Asuka, but who hasn't? And she can work. But I think just the styles. I don't know how well they're going to mesh. I hope they go out there and prove me wrong. For all the negativity I sometimes put out there, I just want to see good wrestling.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you. I want to probe your brain on this before we finish up here. Thinking about that is a good someone who's the head of the the women's division, right? Should be someone who can pretty consistently in her big matches draw out really good matches.
Yes.
Make it work, right? What do you think about the developmental potential of Lacey Evans? Because she seems like she's, I see it's going. There's potential.
They're really trying with Lacey Evans. But at the same time, I don't remember who she wrestled. I think, was it Dakota Kai or was it Nikki Cross?
Which one?
She had a long, 20-minute match on NXT.
Oh, yeah, it was
a couple weeks ago.
Because she had the name.
Right.
Or was that Kairi Sane?
Oh, it was Kairi Sane. It was Kairi Sane. They gave them 20 minutes. They went out there. They worked hard. They really tried to have a great match. But it just wasn't that good. And I think Lacey Evans, I'm more willing to blame her than I am Kairi Sane. She might get there, but something about the act doesn't do it for me. She's missing something. And as an aside, I think a straight right hand as a finish, unless your name is The Big Show, is not a move that you can really get away with. So she needs a new finish, and she needs more time to really develop.
Okay.
Of the women available, I think Kairi Sane is the best person to put the belt on, and that'll probably get there eventually. But yeah, I'm not yet sold on Lacey Evans. I think the women, the woman that they're pushing now, that I have most confidence in to be something in the future is Bianca Belair. I think if they handle her correctly, they have a big star on their hands.
Yeah, I would agree there too.
All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for this predictions video. This starts 8 o'clock on Saturday, so 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So make sure that you've cleared your schedule for this, because it should be a good one. It will be the best wrestling show this weekend. I can fairly confidently say that.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.